how many senators and representatives don't know nothing about housing construction. I had them call me every day wondering why their project wasn't let. And they said they had no control over it. If you get enough of them fighting for it, they can shut Mary Powell down.
Yeah. Okay, several people have had their hands up a long time. I don't know who is the longest. No. Okay, okay. We got to move on. We will have more questions and answers after the rest of the meeting. We left a large section open as we can for that. So don't give up. If you have questions, see us. Ask them at the end of the meeting.
I don't know if you saw the paper probably about a couple of months ago where the neighborhood in Edmond had stopped the Walmart from going in. A friend of mine ran that group, and when he found out I was involved with the Turnpike group here, stopping the Turnpike, he told me about the attorney they used in that project, a gentleman named Perry Kaufman. And I've since met Perry. He has come out and talked to our small group before. Also come to learn that he stopped the development from going in at Edmond. And he's graciously agreed to come out and talk to us tonight. He's going to talk about some legal issues that are involved with the Turnpike. He's going to talk about eminent domain. He's going to have a brief question and answer period following his presentation. So right now I'd like to introduce Perry Kaufman. And please be nice to him. He used to wrestle at my alma mater, Oklahoma State. So,
I think if I wander around up here, I'm going to fall down. I'm going to stay there on the floor. Be a little less fall. Mostly. All right. Is this thing on? Yeah. Yeah, my name is Perry Kaufman. Like Charlie, I used to work for the state. I worked for the Commissioner's of Land Office for 19 years. I was general counsel up there. We dealt with eminent domain issues all the time. Federal, state, city, utility companies would all come in and try to take some of the land from Land Office. Land Office had 770,000 acres of surface land. So we dealt with this constantly. We had actually dealt with OTA a couple of times, but not a lot, because they don't have that much highways around the entire state. Now, as far as the Turnpike Authority, when you're dealing with them on an eminent domain issue, they're going to have to find the track first of where they're going to put the highway. They're not just going to take land and then go, we're going to move it. Because they don't want to spend their money unless they have to. And as Charlie was getting at, he didn't actually say this, but he got close to it. If they're taking a land with a house on it, it costs them more. Taking raw land, it costs them less. They're not going to take a house unless they have no choice. They want raw land because it costs them less money. So that's what they're going to be looking for on their path. They're not looking to run into a neighborhood because that's going to cost them a ton more money than just going outside. Under eminent domain law in Oklahoma, for the Turnpike Authority, they have their own special condemnation statute. There's already two other sets of condemnation statutes in the Oklahoma statutes, Title 27 and Title 66. Turnpike Authority has their own. Once they have 3 appraisers get appointed by the court, they go out and appraise it, they come back with a value. Turnpike Authority pays that money into the court. They can immediately take that land, they can immediately start using that. That's not that way under Title 27 or Title 66. They have to wait until if you're going to contest it and go to court, then they can take it if they want. But it's a little different under the Turnpike Authority, because they wanted to allow them to begin building as quickly as possible. But that's not the end of it. If they come in the appraisers come back with a value for your land. In determining the value, they look at the value immediately before, immediately after the taking. That difference is what they're going to pay you. If you disagree with that value, say for instance, that you think you have 160 acres, and they're going to take 10 acres. They value it at $1,000 an acre. So they got to pay you $10,000 because that's what your property is going to be diminished in value. That's the straight calculation of it. And that's typically what they try to do. Now say for instance, just down the road 2 miles, you have a friend that sold his land for $1,500 an acre. And the appraiser for the state didn't take that into account. Then you can negotiate with them, try to get the price up. Because they will negotiate. Just because they say this is what we're paying you, that's not the end of it. You can talk to them. And if you feel like you need to, you can hire me to talk to them. But you can talk to them. But you can talk to them too. And I'm not telling you you can't. Some people don't like doing that. That's why they hire people like me to go do that. But you could coax them up, get them to a higher price, something that you're happy with. If you cannot come to an agreement, you have the right to go to a jury trial. Where we would have to hire an appraiser, they would hire appraisers, those appraisers would come in and testify, and the jury would decide what the value is. Now, here's the kicker on that. If the jury comes back and they award a value that's 10% higher than what the highest amount the OTA offered you get to collect your attorney's fees and costs against the OTA. So that's the only way you're going to get your attorney's fees back. If you come in 9%, you can't make a claim for attorney's fees. And attorney's fees on this kind of thing, you're talking about probably a 1.5-day trial, maybe 2 days. And you're talking about depositions of appraisers, because you want to know what their appraiser is going to say before you go into trial, how they're going to defend their appraisal. They're going to want to know what your appraiser is going to say and how they're going to defend their appraisal before you get into trial. So it's not a cheap proposition. So if you can cut a deal with them and get them high, and pay them, get them to pay you what you want to consider doing that, because it is an expensive proposition to go to trial. I talked to the group about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, about OTA in general. And they are one of the most powerful agencies in the state. They have almost no oversight. They're self-funded, actually funded by our money, or paying the tolls. So they don't even have to go to the legislature to get money. They do what they want to do. And there are theories that I've been working on since I was talking to John about this in my head. I haven't done the research on them because it's going to take a lot of in-depth research of potentially challenging the constitutionality of the Turnpike Authority. Because that agency is so big. John about this a while back, that is a very tough nut to crack, because you're going in and telling the state, you created this agency that violates the Constitution, and we need to kill it. And then I can't tell you that would stop this turnpike at all, because that is going to be a long, hard battle. They're going to spend $300 million on this highway. They'll spend $300,000 in attorney fees just to crush it, so they don't have to hear about it. It's no big deal to them. So that's the kind of thing that you're fighting. You're fighting an enormous beast that has a lot of money. Sort of like fighting Walmart that John was talking about. We just filed, Evan just filed to intervene in an appeal that Walmart filed in district court to fight them down there. And Walmart is like the OTA. They think they have time to go in the ring. And you just have to figure out a way to beat them. And I think you guys have been doing a great job having crowds like this. You guys going to the OTA meeting the other day, I saw the videos on that. Fantastic. That's going to be showing the governor, representatives, the senators, that you guys are against this. And that's the best way you guys can get this resolved in your favor. Now, does anybody have any questions? I can answer some.
Do you,
Pardon?
Who are these bondholders?
Ordinarily, only he asked who the bondholders were. He asked who the bondholders were. Ordinarily, whenever they're going to go sell these bonds, they are going to go get them rated by Moody's. And I can't remember the other one. There's another rating agency.
Fitch.
Yeah, Fitch. And there's Standards and Poor's, and they rate them all. And they just go out and sell them on the market. It can be China can be invested in. Somebody down the street, the next door neighbor could be invested in it and not even know it because they got it in a mutual fund, their money in a mutual fund. So those bonds get sold on the open market. And they're rated at whatever their interest rate is going to be, whatever, based on their rating of the bond. So it's really just an open field. You guys think, Charlie?
do you do any pro bono work?
For those of you that don't know, pro bono work is don't work for free. Ordinarily not, voluntarily. I have been forced to do that occasionally. And I do some pro bono work. I did some for a family out in the west that they got taken advantage of by a bank. And we had that trial in June and got that resolved in their favor. But my firm doesn't mind me doing pro bono work. I just got to do it. I can't do so much. I can't keep the lights on. Oh, okay. Okay, one more question.
My question is, do we have a case if we wanted to do a class action lawsuit with everyone in this room? What would we be against and would we stand a chance if we did that? At least to just put a little stick, like we mean business, even if we, is that feasible?
She wanted to know if we could do a class action to stop something at the OTA. And that would depend on the basis of that class action. Pardon?
How about the safety of the people in the residential area? How about we can improve the economic development?
Well, as far as the safety issue, like I said, they're not going to put this in a residential area. They don't want to pay for your houses. They want to pay for raw land. And they're going to put it right next to it. You'll see this on Turner Turnpike. When you're going up there, just past Stroud, there's that housing development. Just over to the right, they got that big 10-foot tall fence over there that it seems like every dog in the neighborhood gets out of and comes across the highway. But they will, the safety issue is not going to go anywhere. I don't believe. And I'm just telling you straight up how I feel and how I see it. I don't want you to waste your money on doing something that is going to not get you anything. I understand the thorn in the side, and that's good, but we need a good story.
How close can they build this to your house? Can they come in and take 5 acres of my land, build right up to where I have a fence for my kids play?
I would be arguing that that is also taking your house.
To what point? 10 acres behind it's still my property, but that's still my house. How close can they take this thing?
Charlie would probably know how close you can put something like that better than I.
If I remember right, if they get within, I think it's 25 foot or so, then they have to buy your house.
And that's for state highways. Now, if they were that close to the turnpike and they're going to put a fence, and you've seen the turnpikes around here, and they've got a pretty wide green belt beside it, and they've got their big tall fence. And So what I think Charlie's talking about there is gonna be 25 feet past that fence to your house. So you're gonna be fairly away from the highway there. But I would still think there would be a decent argument there that they're actually taking a significant part of your house. One, for the noise pollution, two, for the safety issue.
The 25 foot is not from the center of the road.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then you may,
I noticed they said they don't have a monument on it, for the people, so they're gonna use bond money. And they also use that for the legal representation.
not many.
Well, people use this when people knock on the door, we want your house, and they said they already don't have people, staff to do this. They're gonna have to hire somebody to go do this for them.
They will hire contractors. They will hire contractors, and they'll plug you in and they're out of work. That'll do it for them.
Well, you
Yeah.
mentioned the possibility of unconstitutionality though, with the OTA.
Yes.
Would that be a more reasonable to stop all of this? Because this is gonna, based on what we're seeing, you talked about the Southwest thing that's coming up and other areas.
On the constitutionality thing, I do not think I could get a temporary injunction on that. I think I got a good chance of being successful on it, but I could not make a case to get a temporary injunction. There's a lot of discovery that's gonna have to go on.
Your property being rezoned after being acknowledged to that tax.
The question was, can the property be rezoned without your knowledge, was that the question?
Ordinarily not. We're supposed to give anybody within 300 feet of a rezoning notice. Of course, that depends on your city rules.
Okay,
How do we get the statute changed?
Which statute? Sorry.
Would all the veterans that are here stand up?
thank all of you for your service. And what can you say? You just can't say no. Okay, next we have the treasurer's report from Steve Hills.
Hi, I'm Steve Hills. I'm the treasurer. I don't normally carry a purse, but since I got this job, I'm a purse carrier. And we had a nice collection the last time we were at the theater. We collected over $1,000. We spent $400 on some outstanding signs. We got about 6 of them. And they're not, the city hasn't been tearing them down because we've been careful putting behind the pins and keeping them on private property. So, I still have $600 in the account, and I'm kind of standing back with a little bucket for future signs. If you don't have any money, don't worry about it. Just quarters, nickels, I don't care. But we put them to signs, and we're seeing them on TV and the newspaper, so we're getting our money's worth. And I have 2 minutes, right? So I got a few seconds. So I went to the Hogback grand opening, and I approached there. I was with one of my neighbors and another veteran family. Well, they told us we had to go stand on the other side of the road. And in my 34 years of working for the government, I've never been treated like that. And for a tell a veteran it's not good enough to stand over there for a grand opening hurt. It's happened to me twice in my life. I was told to go stand on the other side of the road. My dad came after me if not. So this hurts, and I don't appreciate the way they're treating the veterans. Thank you.
difficult to, I'm gonna step off the stage because I don't want to walk off of it, to give up your evening, but I'm glad you're here. You know, every time we have a meeting, I just think, whatever happens at the end of all this, I personally will know, and more importantly, be able to tell my daughter that I did what I could to stop our property from being taken and our towns from being divided by this very unnecessary private highway. At this time, our group is coordinating a rally at the Oklahoma State Capitol for around mid-March, hopefully the week of spring break, to go out there. This date has not been confirmed yet, but we're hoping to have something soon. So we would love for all of you and your families to show up in great numbers, this time without fear of being turned away at the door because of capacity restraints. We need to show our state leaders through this demonstration of our voice that we absolutely do not want our land to be taken and sold to nameless, faceless, national and international bondholders. We don't know who these people are. Make a day out of it. As a teacher, I see this as a wonderful opportunity for our children. Let them see you take a stand for your rights. After the rally, I encourage you to visit one of the many places to spend time in Oklahoma City. The zoo, the Oklahoma History Center, Bricktown. You know, bring your family in from other parts of the state too. Because this does not only affect eastern Oklahoma County. You know, we know the Turnpike has plans, to take land in Tulsa, Muskogee, Bridge Creek, Newcastle, Mustang, Yukon. So if you've got any family in those areas, have them look this up because they're coming their way too. Okay? Despite the incomplete data that is pushed at us, Oklahoma simply does not need to charge its citizens to get from point A to point B on a private toll road. Okay? Economic purposes are now being downplayed for safety and traffic reduction, but we know, guys, we know their first explanation was the true one, right? Economic. And they should be able to take our property for that. Yeah. I encourage you to follow us on Facebook at the Citizens Opposed to the Eastern Oklahoma County Loop to find out more about our upcoming rally. Also, we have two websites. We have stoptheturnpike.com and stoptheloop.org, and we try to put information on there as we have it, okay? So be checking those websites. Also, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I want to move on because I want to have time for questions, so thank you again for coming this evening.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Tyndall Arnold, who's going to talk about local community opportunities.
I want to say hello to everyone and thank you for attending tonight. I'm here tonight to speak to you about the importance of every one of us here tonight. We want you all to know that we are using every available resource to the best of our ability. We ask for a show of solidarity as this ordeal progresses. As the route solidifies and narrows, it is of utmost importance that we continue on as a group and we continue to grow as a group. I ask you now to look around you, look at those in front of you, look at those standing at your back. These are your neighbors. I want to share a small revelation that I had after a member of our group made an offhanded comment about the gumption and tenacity of Oklahomans. They said, in some ways, this turnpike is going to be worse than a tornado because after a tornado, we have the chance to rebuild. And it really struck me in that moment that home is a place within the community. It's not the walls, it's not the driveway, the couch, the bed. Those things can be replaced. What makes me feel safe is where we build those walls. It's the land and our ties to it. It's the open skies so we can breathe. It's cricket-filled nights full of starlight and quiet contemplation. We've all seen people crawl out of the rubble after a storm and stay there all night because at dawn's early light, it was time to start sorting, cleaning, and rebuilding. This time, things are different. This time, someone picked the route and sent the storm, and we don't get to hunker down. We have to link arms and jump right up out in front of it. We are being bullied out of our land by the most powerful authority in the state, an authority that has taken more authority than it was given. OTA acknowledges that tolls will likely go up 16% statewide after this project. The OTA has not paid off a single turnpike ever. They're all still taking tolls. Do you think the rest of Oklahoma would like to know that? I do. Oklahoma has the most turnpikes in the nation, and as one of our local teachers asked, if turnpikes equaled wealth and growth, why is Oklahoma so broke? Our gut tells us something is wrong. Don't ignore that gut feeling that something is wrong. Our job is to convince our families, our friends, and our fellow Oklahomans to act on what their guts tell them. I've asked this question to many people lately, just says, what does your gut tell you? And they'll all say, something's terribly wrong. Fellow citizens, we've tried it their way for 65 years. As Secretary of Transportation Ridley stated in the last OTA meeting to an angry crowd of rural Oklahomans, it's time to try something new. Now, I know what he meant. He meant to direct that comment to us, our small community. What he meant was we should accept their plan to take our land and plow a road clear through the city of O'Hara. Ironically, I agree with his actual statement. It is time to try something new. It's time to return to building roads without OTA. But before any discussion about doing it better can occur, we need to focus on saving our community. Tonight, we're going to try and utilize each of you to the very best of your ability. We are going to start some task groups with some very specific goals. We need to show our governor and our state who we are. We need to raise our voice and call like-minded Oklahomans to our side. And in an attempt to do so, we have identified groups within the community that already have strong ties of communication. As I list these groups, please consider leaving us your contact information tonight. You are not restricted to one group. If you are willing to help us learn, we are willing to help you act. Our goal is to use networks and groups that already exist to bring awareness to our plight. It is our most fervent hope that if Oklahoma as a whole really sees what is happening here, they will recognize themselves in us. We want our cries to spread out and resonate with every resident in this great state. I'm going to read out some of these groups, and like I said, we've got tables over here with people who are going to take your name and number. You may have left your name and number already for a call list, and that's over here. That's important too, so you can be notified of more meetings, but this is so we can start delegating specific tasks to specific groups. If any of you are a student at any local high school, we would like to talk to you and your parents about reaching out to a younger community of residents. This is your home too. If you have involvement with FFA or journalism, future leaders groups within the school, please consider helping. Most of us know there is no one more socially in tune than a high schooler with a cell phone. If you are a veteran, we would like your name and number. You have a great avenue of contacts there, and we need to keep on that. If you are a resident of Oklahoma and have a unique privilege of remembering when the Turner Turnpike originally opened, we would like your name and number. I did have one resident like that recently tell me, she said, they told us Turner was going to be the only one and it was supposed to be paid off. They lied to us. That's a powerful statement. Okay, I can't say that, but a few of you can. We need your information. If you have any sort of paperwork, deeds, or documents pertaining to your land that you consider historic, we need you to sign up for historic consideration. There are historic agencies that we want to get you in touch with. If you have any interest in environmental or conservative groups such as Sierra Club or any animal rights groups, we would like your information. We do have a few endangered animals that we're considering. One of them is just a small beetle. But we need to get you in touch with the right agencies and informed so that we can have a task group, maybe look into that. If you are affiliated with the Girl Scouts, please sign the Girl Scouts list. We want to try and work with you as this is going to affect Cookie Land. If you are residents who farm or raise livestock, we need your information. We want to know what our area produces. Let's remind city folks where food comes from.
Yeah.
If you are a city resident, and I do mean city, not just county resident of O'Hara or Choctaw respectively, and can volunteer to join a group that attends city meetings, these proceedings are where a huge part of the turnpike planning has occurred. We need people in these meetings to balance out the business interests. If you have any experience in advertising or bulk mailing and can give us advice on that process, please come speak to us. If you are not a resident of the city but be willing to help learn more about county issues and policies, please sign up to gather county-related information. If you have a detailed understanding of accounting or audits and are willing to use that knowledge to further our investigations, please leave us your name and number. If you are part of any other group that requires consideration, please let us know. We are still learning about our residents and all your very unique perspectives. I want to ask you, like I said, to sign up over here at the sign-up tables. Please print if you can. We have all different sorts of people reviewing this information and getting it entered in. It's sometimes hard to read the cursive or if it's very tiny. On a final note, I posted out in the lobby, future projects are posted back there. I also listed the statute that those came from because I want you to do your own research so you can get the statute number, you can go read it for yourself online or in the statute there at the library. Several people have mentioned how widespread this is. This is an Oklahoma issue. We do need to tackle it here in eastern Oklahoma County first, but this issue is going out. It will affect Stigler, Poto, Heebner, Duncan, Davis, Ada, Henrietta, Snyder, Ponca City, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Velma, Davis, Watonga, Moore, Norman, east of Tinkerfield, Broken Arrow, Weber Falls, Pawhuska, Newkirk, Mustang, Tuttle, Altus, Sayre, Enid, and Woodward. If you have family or loved ones in those areas, they have all been specifically named in future projects. What we fear is that if eminent domain is allowed to take root here, it's going to get steam, and these communities are next. That's a lot of Oklahoma, and we would like all of Oklahoma to respond because this is too much.
I'd like to introduce Denise Taylor now, who's going to talk about the signs that you've probably seen all over Choctaw and Hara. Now, if you live in Choctaw, I'll tell you, as I found out myself, keep it 50 foot from the center of the street into your yard, or the sign police will come get you.
I'm Denise Taylor. After meeting at the State Theater, we were trying to rack our brains of how we could get the word spread, because 21 miles is a long area, a big area. So we did take up a collection of money that night for signs. We decided to use part of that money for large signs at really heavy traffic intersections. We thought that would be a good way to reach people. My family went ahead and purchased the yard signs. And we found a place to get those printed, and we thought that we'd get that out on the Facebook page. We put one of the web pages on there, which is linked to our other web page that has lots of information, and they have been so many.
We can't hear over, you've got people over there.
The yard signs have reached so many people. The petition just started growing. Our Facebook likes started growing. So we have, this is the last that we've had. We've ordered 600. And this is what we have out of that. If there's a need, we'll order more, and we're just reimbursing ourselves. They're $4 each. So feel free to come purchase one tonight. If you have someone that couldn't be here tonight and you think they want one, go ahead and purchase one for them if you can. And the large signs up here that they held up, Jerry Herring was able to get those for us through a buddy of his. That's what we use the money for. And if you would like to purchase one of those, if you have a fence or something you can hang on it, I don't encourage you to put it on the right of way. But they would be, if you want a one-sided one, $54, and then if you want it to be two-sided, $108. And if you want one of those, we have a sign-up sheet over here, and we can take the information and get back with you.
Once again, we thank you all. Thank you, Denise. Thank every single person that came tonight to listen, to contribute, to ask questions, because quite honestly, like Tyndall said, every single person here is important. Whether you're listening for the first time or if you're involved and up on the stage, we need every one of you to continue to come and to care, because we don't know where that line is going to be drawn, but we do know it's going to affect all of us. I so very much appreciate seeing so many people. I've made calls, I know I've talked to a number of you, and now I feel like not only do I have new friends, but you're my neighbors too, and we're all in this together. To Lorenzo, who I just finally met tonight after talking to him on the phone, there's Lorenzo. There are so many Lorenzos and Dons and Anns and Jims out there, and we need all of us. Because I really believe this can happen. I really do. I feel like our little corner of the world defeated Dollar General. They didn't come in when we told them we didn't want them. And you know what? I think we can do it too. So, in conclusion, you know, you keep on saying, what can I do? Well, my goodness sakes, if Tyndall didn't give you an earful, because that was wonderful. We have places all around here to sign up for signs. We have Linda sitting over here. If you want to call those people and give them a piece of your mind, she's got their names, their numbers, how to get in touch with them. And if you're like me, you don't know that Facebook stuff. These are the real touch and feel, and call them and tell them what you feel. We've got that list for you. We want you to contact everybody, to talk to your neighbors, get the listings of the numbers. Like I said, Tyndall, that was excellent, thank you. And do what is going to be the most beneficial for you and your neighbor. Because folks, we have a future here, we all want it, and we need to do it, but they have to listen. And if we listen as one loud group that's going forth, we can do it.
Okay, at this time, what we'll do is we're going to break it up, and most of us have, not all of us, not from the night. Most of us have these stickers on, not all of us do. We're going to take questions and give you whatever answers we can. We don't know everything because we haven't been told. So, but we'll do our best to answer your questions. So just come hunt us down.
Quick question. You know when they're going to announce, maybe?
They said 4 to 6 weeks. So if you have access to one of the websites or the Facebook page, the minute we know, it'll be up there.
I'd like to say something.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you have been to the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority building. There is no money there except workmen. They are doing a multi-million-dollar renovation of this building, and the OTA is right now in Shepherd Mall in a lockdown facility where you have to be buzzed in if you want to talk to anyone.
Thank you. That doesn't surprise me. So.